everyone, I'm Marleth, and what we are going to discuss today is about the basic concepts and principles of economics. So first, let's define what economics means. What is economics? Economics is a social science concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. It studies how individuals, businesses, governments, and nations make choices on allocating resources to satisfy their wants and needs, and tries to determine how these groups should organize and coordinate efforts to achieve maximum output. There are two branches of economics, the macroeconomics and the microeconomics. Macroeconomics is a branch of the economics field that studies how the aggregate economy behaves. In macroeconomics, a variety of economy-wide phenomena is thoroughly examined, such as inflation, price levels, rate of growth, national income, gross domestic product, and changes in unemployment. While microeconomics is the social science that studies the implications of individual human action, specifically about how those decisions affect the utilization and distribution of scarce resources. Microeconomics shows how and why different goods have different values, how individuals make more efficient or more productive decisions, and how individuals best coordinate and cooperate with one another. Generally speaking, microeconomics is considered a more complete, advanced, and settled science than macroeconomics. What is the aim of studying economics? The aim of studying economics is to understand the decision process behind allocating the currently available resources. The needs always unlimited, but resources being limited. So, do you know who's the father of modern economics? It is actually Adam Smith, who is considered as the father of modern economics because he wrote the book entitled An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations, which, as the name suggests, was an attempt at understanding the reasons behind the economic growth of a nation. What is this book all about? Let's have a brief idea about the book. An interesting backdrop to consider here, the fundamental assumption that we need to make more the whole economic system to work is that human beings are motivated by pure self-interest and will take decisions that they think will make them better off now and or sometime in the future. The economic and political systems of a country are closely interlinked and jointly determine the well-being of its citizens. The basic to understand economics is to know the concept about the demand and supply, wherein demand is the quantity of a good or service the buyers are willing to purchase at a particular price, and supply is the quantity of a good the sellers are willing to deliver at a particular price. Meanwhile, price is a result of the constant tug of war between the demand and supply. So what then is the law of demand? While all other random things kept constant for a good, the higher the price, the lower will be the demand from the consumer. Of course, you do not want to buy things when they are in higher price, right? That's the law of demand. While the law of supply, the higher the price, the higher will be the supply from the manufacturers. Time also plays a huge role in a free market economy, more in the case of entities in a competition to serve the consumers. Stockouts are no longer for a supplier as it affects the brand and the consumer can move elsewhere. If there is an excess of demand, the producers have to gauge the nature of demand first to react in a swift fashion to corner the market and retain the existing customers. let's have the concept about equilibrium. What is equilibrium then? The stable state of equilibrium in an economic system makes the economy efficient, the suppliers are moving their goods, and the consumers are getting what they are demanding. The only point worth noting, the point of equilibrium is ever elusive and fluctuates like a wild boar in each minute quantum of time. So let's go now to another term in economics, which is the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? It is the value of the next highest valued substitute use of that resource. For instance, you may forego going to the physics class for a session of LAN gaming, but the risk of not understanding subsequent lectures and flunking the semester is the opportunity cost you should be aware of. Every entity has a different point of view regarding this opportunity cost, as the needs and resources of entities keep shifting with time. Now let's have the economic efficiency. What is economic efficiency? This is the measure of output obtained with a given set of inputs, that is, least amount of wastage. Technological ability usually decides the upper limit for the maximum efficiency which can be achieved. Let's have the word scarcity. Scarcity is that as humans, we have unlimited desires, but the means of production being finite and limited, like labor, land, and capital, various trade-offs are to be made to allocate the resources in the most efficient way possible. Production Possibility Frontier, or PPF, is a bridge which ties the three concepts. If we assume that the economy produces just a couple of goods, for example, guns and butter are the default choices for economists, then the economy can produce a greater quantity of guns only if it produces the quantity of butter produced. Each point on the PPF curve shows the maximum possible output of an economy. That is the potential that the economy holds. Let's define now these three terms: the elasticity, utility, and marginal utility. First, let's have elasticity. Elasticity is defined as the change in quantity of the goods associated with a change in the prices. It usually depends on the nature of product. Example, luxury versus necessity, the number of substitutes available in the market share of wallet, etc. If quantity of the good changes drastically with a change in its prices, it is said to be elastic. If quantity of the good does not change much with a change in its prices, it is said to be inelastic. Utility. Utility is the satisfaction that one achieves from consuming a good or service and is an abstract concept based on the individual in question. And marginal utility is the extra satisfaction one gets from each additional unit of consumption. Taking a holistic example is lieu of an easier and obvious one. Research proves that the money one earns contributes hugely towards average life happiness in the initial stages of getting those riches, but its role tapers off sharply as the income grows. The economists refer to this as the law of diminishing marginal utility. The last term we are going to discuss today is the specialization of labor. The fundamental concept which is responsible for economic growth as we know it is specialization of labor. If an entity is really efficient in producing a commodity, it has an advantage over another entity which is not that efficient in producing the commodity under consideration. If I am good at making shoes and you are good at making jam, for example, it makes sense to do what we are good at and trade afterwards. Moreover, the economies of scale prove to be an icing on the cake. The production cost per unit decreases as we produce more and more of the same units. And the best part is that both parties are better off after doing the transaction. Just to appreciate the grandeur of this simple idea, just imagine your standard of living in a world where you have to produce everything for yourself. You would likely revert to a medieval lifestyle, growing your own food and defending our own property. Say goodbye to iPhones, crazy jobs, roads, branded clothes, and the air-conditioned comfort. So we're done with our discussion today. I hope you have learned something from me. Thank you and bye-bye.